When you say Wonderkids in football, so many names come to mind, from Marcus Rashford to Felix to Kylian Mbappe. I could go on and on. But what about the youngsters that will follow in their footsteps? With this in mind, I'm going to take a look at my top 5 future stars in world football. First up is Elias at Barcelona, aka the next Paul Pogba. Now, Pogba has been rumoured with Barcelona for so many years, it seems, but the Catalan team needn't worry because they have their own powerful midfielder with wonderful vision for long balls and key passes, and he just happens to be the academy's highest paid player of all time. Yes, Moriba arrived from Espanyol in 2010 and already has a €100 million buyout clause. Moriba has already proven he is a worthy player at Barcelona when he played in the under-19s El Clasico at just 15 years of age. He scored an amazing hat-trick. The first 2 goals were great, but the third goal came from the kick of the second half. He rolled the ball in the centre circle of the pitch, shot at goal and got it, leaving absolutely everybody stunned. Despite being so young, he's an imposing physical player that's not afraid to bully his opponent off the ball, and his ability to play as a box-to-box midfielder and his impressive goals means that he is certainly one to watch for the future. Now, his deal does expire in 2022 and he is yet to make his debut for Barcelona's first team. However, he is already playing for the B team and has been training with Ronald Koeman's side, so surely it is only a matter of time before we see an appearance or two in the first team. Next up is a player dubbed the Tanzanian Mbappe. The difference between the two? Well, there are a few. Mainly, this guy does not actually have a professional club at the moment. However, they both have a fierce eye for goal, amazing skill and great ambition. His name is Kelvin John, and the 17-year-old has been catching the eyes of many and is considered one of Africa's biggest and brightest talents. A few years ago, when he was 15 at the Under-17s Africa Cup of Nations, he impressed so much that the head coach of the Tanzanian national team put him in the provisional squad, and he's actually already made his debut for his country. Since all of this has happened, the player has actually left Tanzania and he's living in England. He is under the Brooks House College in Leicestershire, and he's going to stay there until he turns 18 and he can officially sign for a European club. Where he will head? Who knows, but he has had some successful trials at Genk, so maybe that will be his next home. Next, and it is Liam Morrison. Now, Scotland have produced some great players over the years, although recently I guess you could argue that they have struggled to produce some top-level talent until now with Morrison. He was at Celtic, and when he was 16 1 year ago, he actually departed from the club. Celtic really didn't want to let him go, but there was so much interest from numerous European clubs, and he's actually ended up at Bayern Munich and has already been put in the under-19s team. What's great about the Scotsman is that he can play on the left or right. He's a great example of a modern defender with good build-up play, and coaches around him are already saying that he has got the potential to be a Champions League level defender. Absolutely amazing. And alongside this, he is being likened to a young Mats Hummels, which means that surely the future is looking pretty bright for this youngster. Now, next up, if a player has got the nickname Hallelujah, yes, you heard me right, his nickname is Hallelujah, that's surely got to be a positive sign of a pretty good player, and that is the nickname for Daddio Sarmiento. He is a youngster over in Argentina that is playing at Estudiantes de La Plata. The winger was given this nickname by Alejandro Sabella. Now, you may remember him. He is a legend at Estudiantes himself. He played for the club and he managed them, and he also took Argentina to that 2014 World Cup final, and he also played as a midfielder for Leeds and Sheffield United. He has said that the 17-year-old fills him with hope for the future, and when he actually met the youngster, he himself, the legend, got on his knees to the youngster saying, "I think you're going to be a superstar, I think you're going to be absolutely amazing." A little bit strange, but surely a good sign for the player. Sarmiento is a diminutive left-footed player who has moved from more of a number 10 role to the right wing and made his debut last October, becoming the second youngest first-team player in the club's history. Obviously, being a number 10, moving over to the right, being Argentinian, there have been links with him being, as good as Lionel Messi. Of course, I think he's a little bit far off that level of talent and stardom, but who knows in the future. He seems pretty happy in Argentina. However, with more and more top-level teams recognising this player, particularly Manchester City, it could be that he ends up moving over to Europe to continue the next stage of his career. And finally, one player that is on the lips of every single person in France has got to be Ryan Shirly. The Lyon youngster has progressed from youth level to first team at such a rapid pace, and he's setting the footballing world alight. He also became Lyon's youngest ever player when he stepped onto the pitch at just 16 years old and 43 days. This debut was back in October 2019 when he came off the bench against Dijon, and he also made his European debut in their Champions League group stage game last season against Zenit St. Petersburg. He is considered one of, if not the best player to come out of Lyon's academy. He's already signed a contract, this was before his 16th birthday, that will keep him at the club until 2022. And if anything, this has just spurred him on to have even more success. He drew everybody's attention again in January this year when Lyon beat Nantes 4-3 in a Coupe de France game. Now, he not only scored a brace, but he assisted in the 2 other goals as well. Pretty impressive for such a young player. And if that wasn't good enough for you, he became the youngest ever player to feature in a Champions League semi-final when they played Bayern Munich back in August. Shirly is an attacking midfielder with a great eye for goal, and he's also a powerfully built playmaker. Now, he has been involved on the pitch in a couple of different positions, and it seems like he fits best somewhere in between an orthodox number 10 and a second striker. It's going to be so interesting to see how his career pans out, and he is certain to be the next superstar off the Lyon production line of young talent. So that is my top 5, but let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought, and also let me know who you think is going to be the next young superstar in football. As always, check out all the content that we've got going on at OneFootball, and until next time, I will see you guys later.